Hello, hello, hi everyone. Greetings, greetings.
In my attempt to explain to you, the citizens, about the dangers of Bill 7, I have picked another clause in Bill 7, which I think makes this bill a very dangerous bill to the citizens of Zambia. Remember, it is the right of the citizens of Zambia to choose their representative at different levels. Bali bu councillor, bu MP, bu mayor, na bu president. It is you, the citizens, that must choose who should represent you. And there are a lot of things you look at. You look at umuntu lefwa akula, his experience, and so many other things. And you are convinced that you eunga tuchitako represent. That is what the position of the law is currently, that Mwebe na Zambia, you should be able to choose your own representatives. By UPND under Bill 7 are proposing to avoid by-elections. Now, how does a by-election come? A by-election comes when there is a vacancy. Mwabe chipunda mwi office diakwa elected official. In this case, I want to focus paliba MP. A by-election happens when the office of the MP becomes vacant. How does the office of the MP becomes vacant? Number one, the office of the MP becomes vacant, number one, when he dies. Number two, when he resigns, palwakwe. Number three, when the party that sponsored him, expels him. Number four, when the court determines that he mentally stable. Okay? So there are quite a number of these, but I think I can pick these four major, reasons as to how a seat of an MP becomes vacant. Now, when a seat becomes vacant, the current law dictates that imamweba musalire uli omuntu mufule muayasala na kambi pakuti musale umbi. The law gives you the power to choose another person peradventure that the MP you chose, either dies, resigns, has been expelled by his political party, or becomes mentally unstable. Now, what UPND are trying to propose is that we should avoid the costs of by-elections, because you could have to spending PHing pama by-election. So let us avoid going to by-election, and they are proposing that when the office of the MP becomes vacant, the political party that sponsored that member of parliament must bring another person. I want to give an example of Kamfinsa, where Umunande, because I can only give an example of Kangombe Pantwe Munando, Eusha Fulwe. Let's say Kangombe was sponsored by the PF, Ashta resign, or Afwa, or Bamutamfiaba PF, or it becomes mentally unstable. What the UPND is proposing in Bill 7 is that the people of Kamfinsa will not have the right to choose another leader. Ba PF kubula fyomuntumbi vaya mubikapo. They are only giving an exception ukudi independent. Where they are independents, they are suggesting that ekukalaba fie ama by-election, because the political party that should be able to nominate another person. That is what the UPND are trying to do now. Look at the dangers of this suggestion. Yes, avoiding cost is very good, because you need to harness the resources to attend to other pressing needs. But imagine now, they take away your powers to be able to elect the leaders you want to represent you. Because by UPND mano, and indeed they are truly wanting to avoid costs of by-elections, they would have proposed that ngakwaba vacancy mulibu MP office tukalabula ulio wali number 2 mu elections. Let's say in Nkana, when there's a vacancy, babino bafwa, bashita resign, or baba mentally unstable. Kuwula fe ulio wako nkerepo. Muma elections, votes I think if the UPND meant well, they could have proposed that in an event of a vacancy, we should be picking somebody who came second. But they are proposing to say, nga mwaba vacancy mulibu MUP, political party kuleta fe umbiba samubi kapo. Do you know what that can be or can mean, or the implication of this suggestion? Now you know that political parties avoids expelling their members of parliament because they know that to attempt your MUP, in position we are going to subject it to an election and we may actually lose it. So they are skeptical on causing by-election because they may end up losing their own seats. But imagine when they now remove that provision for going to by-election. Are you telling me stand up and you don't stand up back from your party MUP, you are expelled because they can bring another one? Are you telling me takwakula bafia tu muntu abafia uyutali loyo kuline out babika po muntu uli loyo? Are you telling me takwakula abafia ti ba president batila fatawe inenomba mbike pofi ba bruru bandi and bonse mwe bali elected ba mitamfia babika po ba bruru? Are you telling me tatoka kwate situation ya ifyo? Are you telling me this is not going to lead us to having stooges over mushani na bwadi? Over chindankulambuli abakulatira fye yes bwana? Because if you don't do that, then they can expel you. They know very well that they will not go to an election. Tabakaisa mpishe sitiria bakalaleta pofye umuntu umbi. The case today is that if you check those who have gone into foreign service, abengi ni baburulu babene bantu abali mufifulo. Are you telling me if you amend the constitution using a bogus Bill 7, tabaka burefe babururu babo beka baka babike mu position mu parliament bakuti bena bale toloka fenga babe bat jump they jump bane takwabo kutontonkanya kwa ifi bale tontonkanya ba UPND amaka ya kusale ntungulushi must be in the people themselves. Ni mwe filo kuisalila intungulushi. Otherwise, if this bill goes through, mwala pela maka president akabanilesa filiaba po monga balandata awe inekuli ine ni God nilesa wandi mwala pela ama president bakaleba nitulesa kula bapepa. Because if you don't worship them, tomorrow they can expel you, knowing very well that they can bring another person who will worship them. This, Vane, is a danger to democracy. This must never be supported. Imobonse mwema MPs mweba kala supporta Bill 7. Just know that kabaka mipoka makabaka misalo tunwa, you will never have a say in your political parties because nga mwalandako baka mitamfya baka litepo na umbi. I have in mind one MP I love so much, Chinga Miyutu of the UPND, who is from where is that? Chinga is from where? Anyway, Nalaba. But Chinga is a very objective UPND MP, the only MP in UPND who is objective. Enadimono kanala kanefe ba UPND bachita suggest. Are you telling me with this provision, ike senomba mu constitution, Chinga tabaka mutamfe the next day? So, colleagues, ili mweba na bakwale seri tulera ndapati Bill 7. These are things that we must pay attention to. We are creating monsters through Bill 7. You cannot give umuntu amaka unaffected powers like this to be able to be deciding who should be your MUP. Amaka ya kutsala who should be MUP ya filo kuba maka yenu. Mwebe ne mweba mu constituency. Don't give away that power. Otherwise, vakamiletera one day neshiru, because kuli bena yali neshiru erikala imba the melodies they want. So I just thought you must be aware of this clause. I'll continue speaking to these clauses so that as we discuss Bill 7, you are aware of the dangers that the UPND are trying to create. They are literally trying to create a monster in the leaders after 2026. Because vakakwatisha maka, especially by president. Ayakwati, iwe tawimbire, iwe tawachimeri na chingira, twakutamfya, twaleta pombi. Mukesa sangati mu parliament mulifye ba bululu babo beka ba president. Nishichalo ba.
Greetings everyone. We are just here to campaign against Bill 7. Thank you for joining. We have just come from EMV show, where we have been receiving endorsements for our presidential candidates, and you know, it's looking good for MZ8, and we are here. I'm just gonna play more audio, more videos from Nkana MP. It's best we listen to him because he's an MP, he's a current serving MP, and he's giving us the inside knowledge, the reasons why we shouldn't vote for Bill 7. We are MP, so I'll be playing this and later I will give my take. But I think I will talk less from now on. I'll talk less because I think I'll leave it to the professionals to talk and explain why we should reject Bill 7. So here is another video from Honorable Bino Mpundu. You can go to his page and listen to all these videos.
In 2021, again, I applied for adoption, Kuliba PF. Again, Barinkana, they rejected me for the second time. Do you know what I did? I simply relied on the law or the constitution, which allows any citizen to participate in an election as an independent. And that is why I told by PF but okay, mwameke shaka party kenu na ayamkuimini na independent. And that is how come today I am a member of parliament. Now, this particular law that allows you as citizens to participate in an election as independent is contained in the Constitution in Article 51A. So in Article 51, the Constitution says, a person is eligible for election as an independent candidate for the National Assembly seat if that person, A, is not a member of a political party and has not been a member of that political party for at least 2 months immediately before the date of election. You should not be a member of another political party at least 2 months immediately before the date of elections. It means that on the date of adoption, Ngaba political party varia, if the political party rejects you at adoption, you still have 3 months. Remember, from the time of the nominations to the times of elections, there is always 3 months in the general election. There's always 3 months. So it means that anyone has enough time for them to be able to resign from their political party when they are left out in the adoption, and they'll still be able to qualify under this provision of the Constitution. No mbaba UPND. Because Barino Mwenso Kutila, most of their members, you heard who this one is, so who was saying, who was warning, you know, UPND members that Tabaka Sumini Shomunturi also Quimina as an independent. You heard, right? You also heard from obvious Moliteta, who was also warning members that if that Wakasuminishe Umunturi also Quimina independent. You also remember when the president was addressing Amaka Das, Pamulungushi. he was saying, but incompetent popular, but most of my MPs are not going to go through. No manka bombashani. So one of the biggest fears of the UPND is that most of their members, councillors, mayors, and MPs may not go through because they are not popular on the ground. And the reason also, or one of the biggest fears, is that they've got a lot of their members who also wants to go to the council as councillors, who also wants to go to parliament as members of parliament. So if they don't adopt some of their members, they may go independent and they may lose a lot of seats. Just like PF lost a number of seats because those who were adopting were not listening to the ground. If you have an upper ground. So what the UPND wants to do, they just don't want to continue warning their or threatening their members not to stand as independent. They want to put it in the law. Remember, you cannot make a law that targets individuals. You remember mistakes that have been made before in this country. The motor vehicle theft law. This law was made targeting one individual. Unfortunately, this law came to haunt the same people that made that law. I remember the late President Michael Sata was caught up in that same law, which was made targeting one individual, Shamulumbule. So it has always been argued as a principle that you don't create a law and target individuals. I remember very well, forgive me, I remember very well how I personally differed with my colleagues in the UP, or rather in the PF. I was serving as district commissioner, and I had the intentions of running for Member of Parliament 2021. When Bill 10 was being proposed, they had suggested one clause which was saying anyone who is serving in public service must have resigned from public service for at least 2 years for them to be able to participate in the election. I remember to PF to a point where it became very clear that we needed to remove that provisions. I remember the Nakachinda-led committee had to actually succumb to the pressure we gave them because we insisted there's no way you can create a law to target public servants. You can't create a law that targets individuals. And this is what the UPND are trying to do. So what they've suggested now, they've suggested to change this Article 51 of the Constitution A by replacing the word. Remember, it says anyone can participate in an election as an independent if that person has not been a member of another political party at least 2 months before the date of election. They want to replace election with the date of nomination. Meaning that you must not have been a member of any political party at least 2 months before the date of nomination. Now, the implication of that change they want to make is that when the adoption is done, usually during the election, it's a few days before nomination. So when they do the nominations, let's say a week before they do the adoption rather, before the nomination, and then you are not adopted, you will not have time enough for you to resign according to what is provided for in the law. It means that you cannot stand as an independent. Now, they are basically trying to cure one problem they've seen, namely that a lot of their members are going to jump out of UPND and stand as independents. Imagine I am a member of parliament in Emmanuel who was elected as an independent. Elo nomba nkaye supporter bill 7, which bill is saying you, or rather is proposing to stop people from going to participate as independent. This is what they say: you cross the bridge, waabuka pa bridge, iwo bridge yano kuitoba waitoba because you na waabuka. So all the independent members of parliament who are going to support this bill 7 are basically saying, despite them having relied on this provision of the Constitution to stand as independent when their political parties rejected them, they've crossed over the bridge. They want to participate in destroying the bridge that they used to cross over to become independent MPs. Now, here is the scary part. The law is saying, for you to participate as an independent, you must have resigned, or rather you must not belong to a political party at least 2 months before the date of nomination. Let's suppose this matter was taken to a test under in the courts of law. Because you see, there is a principle in the law, or rather there is a rule in interpreting the law. One of the rule is called the mischief rule. It means the judges are going to say, what was the mischief that the people who were creating this law were trying to cure? In this case, I want to believe so. I know lawyers may argue with me. The mischief the UPND are trying to cure is people jumping from a political party to go and contest an election. All right? What if people suggest that you cannot jump from one political party into another political party because of this same provision? Do you know what that can mean? It can mean even people who will be jumping from, say, PF. LPF bakaikanye fine bale umemingalato. Bakaikanye PF kwebat PF tayabe pama ballot. It means all the members of PF may not be able to participate in the next general election. But you see, we must think ahead. Okay? Because these laws we create today, we are creating with a particular understanding. But if we take it to the courts for interpretation, the court may come up with a very different interpretation, and oftentimes the interpretation is guided by certain rules. As an example, if you came to me and I was a judge to interpret the meaning of this clause, I can suggest that, or I can use the mischief rule, because the idea would be, what were they trying to cure when they came up with this law? And honestly, the cure is that of stopping people from jumping from a political party to go and contest an election as independent. It can further extend to suggest that jumping from one political party into another political party can be covered by this same provision. So I am here reaching out to you, the citizens of Zambia, those of you who don't understand the implication of what is contained in Bill 7. Imagine creating a law that goes against the Constitution, because under the Bill of Rights in the Constitution, the law allows us as citizens to participate in the electoral processes, either as voters or as participants. You can participate using a political party or under a political party, or you can participate as an independent. This is why the Constitution was promulgated. And that is why some of us went to stand as independent, and we are in parliament as independents. But because of umwenso, of losing an election, the UPND are proposing to remove the provision where people would now go and stand as independent when they reject them. So I am appealing to my UPND and my MPs. Some of you are not popular. Some of you are questionable in terms of popularity. The people that are going to be most affected by this clause, because your party may decide to ignore you. The same fears that the president expressed when he was having a meeting with the cadres at Mulungushi, that a lot of his members are not popular. A lot of you MPs, UPND, may actually be left at adoption, and you'll have nowhere to go. The same is for all those young people and elders in the UPND who wants to now challenge for positions as MP. When they enact this clause or this Bill 7, through this clause, it means imwe you will not be able to participate in ngubamisha adoption. Now, I also want to challenge abananti by independent. How can we be so selfish to support this bill when we know that this bill is going to stop other citizens from going to contest elections as independents when their political parties rejects them? Remember, you and me were independent. We are a product of rejections. We were rejected by our political party. Imagine me, who was rejected twice, and the law stops me from going to participate as an independent. Imagine how unfair the law could be, in that regard. That is why I am saying, isule nyamenso bonse mwebali mu parliament, mwema members of parliament, because what is contained in this bill 7 may actually come and haunt you the same way abanenu vaishireva caught up with the grade 12, because vena valesa ina fechina mpofu kaishi at interpretation they were going to be found outside the law. I think by upendina bambika kantu kumutu koshimwe. Anyway, as part of my job, I just wanted to inform you that this is part of the dangers of Bill 7. That is the reason why we are rejecting Bill 7, because newa pitide unewa ide parliament using independence. How foolish can I be to support Bill 7, which is going to stop other citizens to go and exercise their right, like the way I exercise my right to participate in the election in 2021. It is up to you, ine nalanda, so that my law, God bless you.
Thank you. So I think I'll stop there.
Greetings,
for tonight.
fellow citizens.
I'll stop there for tonight. We'll be here every day looking at the Bill 7 and the dangers of Bill 7 and looking at the developing stories as we approach. We are almost there to the voting to happen. Otherwise, please share, please share. Thanks for joining. Greetings to everyone in your time zone. We are live on TikTok and Facebook. The numbers on the pages are growing because we are preparing for this general election. And the general election might not happen if this Bill 7 passes. So we all have to be involved. Talk to your members of parliament. Ask them how they are voting. And ask them to reject this Bill 7. It's not a good bill. I mean, the Europeans say what is good for the goose is good for the gander, meaning this bill was bad for UPND. They rejected it. How can now UPND turn around and say this bill is good? Is a hypocrisy of the highest order. It is shameful that we even have to sit here, waste resources, waste our time, have a technical committee, have all these things going on over a bill they rejected in opposition. Now they are in power, they want to pass it. It is such a shame and a waste of resources. So, but we are here to push until the end. We are pushing literally. It's like pushing a baby out at the 11th hour. When the baby is coming out, that's the most dangerous time. Any mistake, we could lose the baby. So this, in the same vein, I equate to Zambia, our sovereignty as a country. If we make a mistake in the next 2-3 days before the vote, we could lose our independence to create a one-party state. So let's be here and share this information with our friends and family and talk about the dangers of this Bill 7. I just played 2 videos of Honorable Bino Mpundu, Member of Parliament for Nkana. He was explaining the independent MPs, and for me, what I just can say is the other thing which we are not really emphasizing about this requirement they want to implement to say you must resign 2 months before the adoption. You must resign from your political party 2 months before the adoption actually is dangerous for a political party like PF. We are maybe focusing on to say UPND members of parliament will be left out. But this is not really a danger to UPND because they are still UPND. Even if they are UPND, they are left out. The person who's going to take over the seat is from within UPND. But the dangerous thing about this bill is for PF, because PF has got political wrangles. Now, there is the Chavinga faction, and Chavinga and Ingona are the one who are supposed to sign the nomination certificate. Now, if this is not resolved in time, PF need to realize that they could wake up to a harsh reality of not having any PF on the ballot at all. For me, this is how I see it. The danger actually of this requiring people to resign from their political party if they want to rerun as independent or to go to any political party, this for me, I see it as a target to PF. Because if PF don't resolve their wrangles 2 months in time so that they can be adopted, they might not qualify to run even as independent, you know. So this bill is really dangerous, and we have to make sure we shoot down Bill 7. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is I wrote an article, I think a day ago. I wrote an article, and this is concerning the delimitation of the 55 constituencies. And I wrote that article to the president, to ECZ, to the president and ECZ, and I said, can we be honest? Let ECZ be honest and tell us, because we asked them to say, where is the delimitation report? They said that, oh, the delimitation report has been handed over to the president. And the president said they will only release the delimitation report after Bill 7 is passed. So if Bill 7 flops, then they'll pack that delimitation report. Now, the president and the UPND government has gone to extra length to ensure that this delimitation report is done. Okay? It's actually ready. The delimitation report is ready. They know. The president knows where he wants to add new constituencies and add new MPs. Apatulelanda, but president na veshiberiash. Mwaishba. So, I wrote this letter, which I am going to read just the first 2 paragraphs, so that you can follow me and I can keep my train of thought together. Let me just pull it up. Yeah. So I wrote this letter to the president and ECZ. And I have a major concern over this Bill 7 and this delimitation. It's a major concern because there is a lot of secrecy surrounding it. There is no transparency surrounding it. And my concern on this delimitation is because this government has gone an extra mile to make sure delimitation happens, and they are pushing delimitation. They want to add 211 new MPs. Now, my question is, if they want to add 211 MPs in 2031, why are they pushing it now, Mwebantu? Ngabalefo kulunda 211 new total. If they want to increase, let me rephrase, if they want to increase the parliament by 55 MPs, or to increase the parliament to 211 MPs. Why are they pushing it now? Why? If they want, because in Shtanai Chepa, between now and before they dissolve government, they actually have January, February, March, April, May. So they only have 5 months before they dissolve government. So, and then the bill is not passed. Mamona. So bill taipitile, these people, they have 5 months before they dissolve government. So how are they going to make it work that they are going to add 55 members of parliament, 55 new constituencies in 5 months? How are they going to do it? Because ECZ they just closed the registration of voters valley sala, and the registration of voters is only in the 100 they're already existing. The registration of voters was done in the existing 156 constituencies. So the issue I have with the ECZ and the president over this delimitation report is that they are not being honest. And I am challenging by ECZ to just tell the Zambians, ukwebati, bena Zambia, ama elections yaya, we are going to postpone them. Let them come out in the open and tell us that wakachita postpone ama election, because these UPND, they are pushing to add 55 new seats. Now, if they are pushing to add 55 new seats, they have to redraw the boundaries and do the voters registration again. Now, how can they do it? Because Bill 7 tailapita Peter. By the time Bill 7 ikapita, it will be maybe in January. If at all it passes, we assume it passes, then we're down to 4 months. So can ECZ pull off, because they closed? And the other thing is, Bali Sala voter registration, at we are preparing for the general elections. They only did 6 weeks of voter registration. But again, the same people, abantu amobene, balefwaya to add 5 new constituencies. Now, if they want to add 5 new constituencies, how are we going to vote for those 55 MPs? How are we going to vote? It will require them to postpone the election to give them more time to go and redraw the boundaries in the constituencies they are delimiting and have a new voters register. So me, I am basically challenging by ECZ to tell the people the truth. Ukwebati Bill 7 ingayapita na delimitation ingayachitika. Ama elections tayakachitike pa 12 August because they need more time. Usually this whole process of constitutional change and delimitation, they need to do it at least a year before the actual election. So if you say today, last year we would be okay. Because if you voter registration, ngabali include nama 55 constituencies yaria na abantu kubapera muma polling station abantu baishwa. So who is going to vote for those non-can? 55. How are those 55 MPs? How are we going to know which constituency and who's going to vote for them if ECZ does not conduct another voters registration exercise? So that is the harsh reality. And I'll just read one sentence to say, the nation deserves honesty at this critical time. As Bill 7 moves through Parliament, the actions of UPND, the government, the ECZ are raising serious legitimate concerns. Zambians have the right to know the truth about the real intentions behind this rushed constitutional amendment. It is clear that the government is desperate to secure 211 seats in Parliament for its second and final term in office. But achieving this requires 2 major steps: delimitation of constituencies, adding 55 seats, and completing a new voter registration exercise to match the newly redrawn boundaries. So area Shidio. So now the president is like, this is his final term. If we go to 2026 election, that will be the final term of the president. He will complete if he's re-elected. If Hakainde is re-elected in 2026, that will be his last term to serve as president. So now you see why everything makes sense to say, one, the election, these are the unspoken truths. These are the unspoken truths about this Bill 7. The first thing is the election will be postponed for them to redraw the boundaries and create new voter registration. And then, since they are trying to remove term limits for mayors and councillors, the president will also demand the term limit to be removed on him. So he is going to be Paka 2019. You see how everything makes sense? How everything is tying in to the idea of Paka 2019. So the idea of Paka 2019 is real, Mwamba. It's not a joke. And basically, all MPs must shoot this Bill 7 down. All of them. All of them, especially our PF. PF MPs, you are not safe. Because if the PF wrangles continue, you will not be able to stand on a PF ticket. Because Chavinga and Ngona will not sign your nomination papers so that you can be on the ballot. So this bill must be shot down. And then this problem of Chavinga and Ngona must be resolved as soon as possible so that we have the right office bearers there to be able to sign this illegal law. I don't know even approved it, that a party secretary general, only 2 people can sign an adoption certificate. Where did this law even come from? That law must be taken to court and it must be repealed. Mulengu Faba PF, you have powerful lawyers. Take this law where it says limits only 2 people to sign an adoption certificate. That cannot happen. You have to have an odd number. Even a banking in an organization, it has to be an odd number for the third person to break the tie. If you put 2 people there, they can manipulate everything. This law ECZ, where only 2 people can sign an adoption, it's a manipulation. And it must be taken to court and repealed. Because Chavinga na Ngona ngabauma nakapi, ngabalanda chi uria, tatua muchite adopt ni shifire chitika. But if you say 3 anyone can sign, then there is no control. It must be 3. Any of the 3 top people can sign. I don't know what I need to study on this. I don't know what the previous law said about signing on this adoption. But this whole thing, only a secretary general and the party president can sign on an adoption paper. This is a fix to make sure that PF does not be on the ballot. And we have to step up the game. We need to step up the game in ensuring that this Chavinga and his team are put in place. You know, Chavinga and his team need to stay away from PF. And these judges, the judges must, where is the fast track court? You judiciary in Zambia, so mufira te umulandunga ulechita affect by UPND, you judge a popene wangu wangu. You have no shame, you judiciary in Zambia. When whatever, this parliament was taken to contempt because they know that the Bill 7 the proceedings to continue in Bill 7, the judge threw out the case. You have no shame, you Zambian judges. You have never seen such shameless judges. Actually, excuse me, but I've never seen such a useless judiciary system in the whole world. Shamonapo useless judiciary system kwati ya Zambia. I can say it because it is. They only act with speed when it is concerning UPND. What kind of judges are you imwewe? Imyesho mpia mpola ni public fund mwema judge wa Mzambia. Mwikaleka tukala kwa mbokula mitukana nomba pano pama page. Ala, what kind of nonsense is this? What kind of nonsense in Mwamba Zambian judiciary? You cannot hold a whole political party at ransom. The powers that be that give you orders, they don't pay you from the pocket. You are paid from Zambian money, public fund. Every one of you, you judges, judiciary, MP, tempia shamuntu nangwambuya bakoroba wishi. Nimpia shachalo, Zambian money. You should pledge allegiance to the constitution. This constitution, do the right thing. You judges, you have no shame. Eh? How long are you going to drag this PF thing in the mud? How long? How long are you going to drag PF? Hold down PF. How long are you going to hold down PF, you Zambian judges? Eh? It is true, it is in black and white. They took Bananikane. There was a contempt for the entire parliament. Within days, they throw it out. But other cases you are dragging. Year in, year out, we are crying about this PF. Mwachta hijack. And it's you, the judges who have hijacked the PF. It's not Chavinga Longona. Because you are the one who are failing to rule on this matter. So watch the hijacked PF Nina. Nimwe omwema judges. Don't say, we shouldn't even put this blame on Chavinga. We cannot put this blame on Chavinga Olongona anymore. The blame is on the judges. And let us write down this name on the judges, and the day of reckoning shall come to roast these corrupt judges. They have no shame. Yeah? Mukoti moine, when UPND whatever, but never Attorney General, the legislature, and Nelly Muti is sued, within days, overnight, they change, they overturn, they throw out the case. And then you judges, you are sitting on the case here about PF political party. What a shame. But we shall deal with you. Imweba judges, Pali PF political party case, we shall deal with you. We are not scared of you. We shall call you out for what you are. This matter of PF now is not about Chavinga Olongona. Ama judges eva kalide poparia. We need to start number publishing every day the name of the judges presiding on the PF case. We need to be publishing them every day and circulating them online. So that even if we are dead and go, they will prosecute them. It's too much. It's too much. You Zambian judges have some shame. How can they throw up? Overnight, they woke up and throw out a contempt. But you have been sitting on PF case forever. Now they judge What is going on? What's the matter with you people? What is the matter? Why you went to school so you can be a corrupt judge? You studied 7 years? So you can be used and dumped? So that you can carry a brown envelope? The money you are paid is not enough? You have to be corrupted to destroy a country? You judges, you have no shame. If I am wrong, go and close that case. The way you threw out that contempt court for that parliament, throw out those stupid cases there, Chavinga. Who appointed Chavinga? Eh? You should issue a bench warrant for Nelly Muti for recognizing Chavinga. What is stopping the Zambian judges for issuing arrest warrant for Nelly Muti? Nelly Muti ewa pela Chavinga mapipindo mudia na bangona. Nelly Muti. So the judge, if they were not corrupt, they can issue a warrant of arrest for Nelly Muti for recognizing illegal people in the parliament there, and issue another warrant of arrest for the registrar Kudia. But you judges, your time is coming. Judges, your time is coming. Zambia is bigger than all of you. Not Fumo Twain. You have no shame. You are disgusting. You are disgusting, to say the least. And you shall hear it. And we are not scared. I can't be scared for umuntu wafiere kumwana kashi. And I can't be scared for saying the truth. You can take me to the court of heaven, and God and God's angel will be my witness. They have no shame, these judges. Why are they not issuing a warrant of arrest for Nelly Muti? Why? Why are they letting Nelly Muti ukulachita parliament kwat ni mukichin muma or kitchen yabambu yabako? Iwe Nelly Muti parliament ni kitchen yabambu yabo iwe Nelly Muti iwe. Your time is coming, Nelly Muti. It's this judiciary, if it was fair, Nelly Muti should have been served with a warrant of arrest like yesterday already. Nelly Muti should have been issued with a warrant of arrest already if the judiciary was fair. Ala. Twikale pono ture china Nelly Muti wakwatana ma cases where some of us we have not received our pension because of her. Wabengisha nole prosecute wali kwataka le case valia. It is there, just Google Nelly Muti. She has other cases pending. So you will rot in jail by Nelly Muti na mukula mula iweramu. Mwa iloresha. Ushabala lishe ngoma pa kukula. Ati wakula bali shengoma wakula. No. Tulishishaba na chisungu mwana nga akule chisungu 14 years. Mwamuli shengoma. From there on, you just have to look at yourself. Why iloresha mumira ninkula? Waloresha awe chikuru ninkula. You must do things that suit your age and the responsibility which you have. You Baneli Muti mwalikuwa tenchitwa ikuru sana imwe. 21 million Zambians Baneli Muti. You are carrying them on your back. You thought to come in ku parliament mkwangala Baneli Muti. God will punish you Baneli Muti pafyo mulechita parliament umo. That is a sacred position. The laws of the land are very sacred. You need a sober-minded person who can be able to say no. Na kuko executive kwa fumama order Baneli Muti owa parent chitoni constitution owa tia point ni haka inde, but her power is from this constitution. Now why is Nelly Muti thrown away the constitution? Ukula chitafe if you are a. We are sick and tired. We are sick and tired of Baneli Muti. Me personally, I'm sick and tired of Baneli Muti. And I'm then sick and tired of these judges who have no shame. Sitting on PF. Kuna pushisha abantu inchito impia time and money, wasting people's time and money. You judges, every time. Munechita Jan. Iya contempt nishita maichita Jan. Iya contempt yo baba itiya ama Baneli Muti once the whole parliament was sued. Why didn't you adjourn it? You had to rule right away. And that is a proof that you are corrupt and you are compromised. Because if you were working with the same speed of lightning that you did to throw out this case, here contempt of court, PF matter would have been resolved. But you are taking us for fools in our judiciary. I'm done talking. And I'm ready to say bad words as long as I'm saying the truth. I will not shy away from saying what I feel and what it is. It's too much. Ama election ya reisa bali tafifia upuba. So mrefa PF yekasangwa pa ballot imwe. Na she bill 7 chair. Mune puisha nshitokula onaula taxpayers money. Abantu barefa mufipatala. You can mule kana no kuingisha ma doctors. The medical personnel who are volunteering, mule no kuti you just volunteered. We are not obliged to hire you. But you want to hire MPs to do what? To come and say, yeah. What kind of rubbish is this? It's the most rubbish I've ever seen in Zambia. Most rubbish government. I can say it because it's rubbish. people who are saving lives. I'm a doctor, but it's a volunteer. Ukwe batu wale ikala fe kumayanda wali poka ma degree. Awe, chenture bomba. Aba ichi bata volunteer years and years. I have relatives who have volunteered years and years. Instead of Africa to maybe kunwa for chaba umuntu ngata volunteer 1 year. Next time when they are hiring, but aba later volunteer, they are the first to be hired. So aba ichi bale chita volunteer, but 2 years, 3 years umuntu atafe volunteer. Alanda kofi ati tuingisha inishito ati tatwa mituminati muchite volunteer. What kind of rubbish is this? Are we case in Zambia? We need to pray. We can't have leaders talking to us like that. It's some bullshit, excuse my French. What kind of people are these? And then they want to hire 55 MPs. Okay, MPs 55 nishinge MP shobakala post. How much money are they going to spend on pay and everything to delimit? To delimit, to do everything. How much money are they going to spend? How much money is it to delimit? Then abantu 55, they probably have to start building another parliament to accommodate all of them because parliament mulia ati no parliament. Elo mleka no kuingisha ma doctors abantu wale from hospital. Oxygen mufi patala takwaba kufwaya. Ama light takwaba. Chiberesh. These people, I've never seen. We have increased the power to 10 hours, so we need the Zambian people to tell us that they are receiving 10 hours of power. Oh, that is the utter rubbish I've ever seen. You want people to start clapping for you from increasing power from 2 hours to 10 hours? And you can even write a newspaper article, maitana na reporter balemba article. At not balundirako power number ni 10 hours, but tatuareve to the fire back by case. Mwari penoro mwari perere po shamo na po bushuru waso. Bushuru. This kind of madness, governance of madness, me, I'll call you out, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and clap for if you have poor, okay? But people are supposed to have 24 power, 24 hours, 24 hours. People are supposed to have power 24/7. I'm done talking. My say, you remember the punch up, you can go ahead. These people, because what I tefia bupu, I some tefia bupefia mandongo. Effort at you come and see the caliber of technocrats I'm going to hire. The president is speaking somewhere talking about, oh, my wife, I was kissing, my wife was accusing me of kissing a woman. We don't care who you kiss. We didn't vote for you to start telling us who you are kissing or who you are not kissing. That is your business, okay? We want to hear about policies and how we can improve Zambians' life. How we can have power 24/7. You know? What kind of talk is this? I was kissing an AI. We don't care who you kiss, sir. You are actually not being politically correct. He's a grandfather. Can you talk about kissing on a platform as a president when we are actually being focused on Bill 7? Can your grandfather talk about, on a president come talk about kissing an AI? It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Andre.
Okay, my name is Andrew Mutira, aspiring candidate for Manari constituency in 2026. Therefore, Kulanda of Party Bill 7, it's a danger even to the UPND. If you look at Article 72, they want to amend Article 72, 8 of that constitution to say where a vacancy occurs, the speaker will notify, and then the political party shall choose a candidate that will be replaced, or the political party shall elect a candidate So abupene pari danger. If you look at Article 72A, it says it actually ties a constituency-based seat to the political party. So it means that a political party in Article 72E currently, it says that if you are expelled from your political party, there is a vacancy in parliament automatically. So number in an event that vaipisha va UPND avove na MPs ngava vatuma kuti va president vavo vaveva kwevati mwe mukusupport echaso olotauriroyo the political party can expel you. Ngava kuchita expel modi political party pari Article 72E, meaning ngava chita amend Article 72 clause 8. It will mean that the control shall be with the president. Well, that is the biggest danger in a democracy. It will mean that MP in the fear of being expelled. Let's say 2026 wapita. Na ipita bill 7 yo enebade 4 pisha. It will mean that any day as an MP tiba kuchita expel and there will be a vacancy. Then ngabachita amend 8 clause 8 72. It will mean that they can replace you any day. So the Queen upon Shipari democracy or
Tapali, they want bootlickers. If you want to create a king, this bill 7, especially this 72, is a danger to anyone, to all of us, to all MPs, independent, however you slice it. All roads lead to a supreme leader. Mama. So it should be shut down. Avena Garden Combo. That's why my Ronari Temaba Mwamba, he went there and challenged the UPND. Where are the men in UPND, men with a spine, to say this is wrong and we are not going to do it? Because this law is made to serve a person. It's not there to better Zambia's democracy, but it's taking away the democracy from Zambians. Mweba umeba nshindo, mulikuisa mu UPND, mulikuisa, vena gari nkombo, mwalei tu kauka, when kwali bill 10, mwalei tu kauka. The same bill 10 number ya isa muli bill 7, mule supporter. Ushamu nama nishomo muli, but mwalei tu kauka pali bill 10. Ta mwalei lala, avena gari, avena mweto, you're all lawyers. So number chawa mashani lero, echo mwalei kana. This is a joke. It's a circus. You know, if this bill 10 was being pushed by another party, which was not UPND, couldn't have appeared at okay. But this UPND, they were in the forefront of rejecting it, and now they are pushing it with all they got, and they don't know that they are pushing themselves out of a job. They are ending the political career, and only the people who remain are the people who will be bootlickers. Government ikabayama friends and family like we see today. Uria uri chairman ya technical committee umukashibali mwingisha National Assembly. Bali mwingisha nchitwa because yalela ndale tukauka. So kumutaralika kumupe kuingisha bakashi nchito. Nomba ya luka praise singer bampea na bu chairman. What kind of nonsense is this? It's some nonsense. But yours truly, the floor is yours. We shall call it out, and we are not going to be scared of you. Nonsense is nonsense, and it's not an insult.
Thank you so much, Queen Pumi, and as always, we're really grateful for your voice. I know you risk a lot, and
Yeah.
But chumwecho nalafu afyoku kumishirishako. I wish PC Moon was available to play us a particular clip that he posted on his page on TikTok. It was something that is very, 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 very similar to what is going on. And these are the steps of how a government turns into an anarchy. It is something very, very simple and very similar to what is going on here. But also, on the other hand, that's where we are going to ask most of our current MPs, legislators, and just the executive of the judiciary to say, how is it possible that they would be proud doing what they're doing, considering that if whatever is being pushed goes on, they will literally be as nothing as the people that are complaining right now and seeing the true picture of everything. It's a very huge disappointment, because they've shut down almost every single person who tells them the truth. They shut down almost every single voice that is trying to give them checks and balances. And you're proud to say you are a Zambian. This should not be the case. And it should be actually a wake-up call to all Zambians so that we make sure this bill doesn't go through, first of all. And secondly, we the youths need to stand up and be able to spearhead this particular drive, this vehicle that we call our country. Because whether we like it or not, if we look at what is going on, we expect proper, checks and balances. But who's there? Who's talking about this? Who's even voicing them? They are all literally scared, which it's Anyway, I submit, and thank you so much, Madam Queen Pomi.
Thank you. Yeah, so another article which is a danger is Article 73 to is it Article 73 under 81, which talks about the term and prorogation of parliament. So that the president can suspend a parliament, extend parliament for more than 12 months. Yeah, so if they can extend the parliament for 12 months, and then the parliament shall dissolve a day before election. Can you imagine? This is Article 73 to under 81. Parliament shall dissolve a day before elections. So nishama ministers kuikala mu office baleta control bakapokola nempia balefola paka 11 and paka 11 whatever 11th August. In this case, what is looking likely is these elections will be postponed. And this is where I started to challenge the president and ECZ to tell the people the truth, that they know these elections will be postponed. They know it. Because why are they pushing to add 55 new constituencies now? So that wakashide okay sapiana ba HH mu 2031. Does that make sense in Gamwaingiramo? If you are pushing at Bill 7 ipite batena delimit. So bahaka inde badebe, because when bahaka inde 2026 is not guaranteed. Achibaka winner. The numbers are showing that you will lose if there is a democracy. If it's a democratic election, free and fair election, Hakainde won't make it because he has failed. So now, would Hakainde do all the delimitation so that President Uke Samu 2031 Ake Sekwata 211 MPs? Would he do that? And if it's PF, would he actually Hakainde and UPND, would they pass Bill 7 because they don't know if they'll win? So if they think to the we think they will implement this after the 2026 elections. No, these people, they are geared to postpone this election, and then they will delimit at the 55 seats election. Because they prepare if I'm no.
Madam President.
Yes. Go ahead, Bagos.
So, Palinkani, ya delimitation first, because I have just a few to say today. So I don't want to make some mistakes that I will regret. Well, at the end of it, you can say something that you can regret these people, Madam President. So, in Kenya, ya delimitation, Madam President. So, I'm going to delimitate 2026. So, I'm going to say that voters card. Bazafunika kuvoto lwa mufti wenango kaenda wakatenga futi voters card yenango. Kozi kainga tumashita delimitate. Ndishi mwapanga ma constituencies ya bili. So, which means waja mene wanashita register. Waja swanga vote kulija constituency inango. So, nishifuka kustapa lifungu wabama wani. Voters card. That's why if panga sense, Madam President.
Yeah, so if it panga sense fiya kwe bati, my elections wakaita postpone but tabare tueba.
So the other thing is this, Madam President. So the other thing is this. Do you remember what JJ said, Madam President, about those MPs alleged that we are not taking 3 million?
Yeah, 13, those 13, yeah.
Ma 3 million. So, Mwaiona, Wamnyima, Narolo member of parliament, Wamnyima, he was on that list. Nyambose, he was on that list. Jonathan Daka was on that list. So, Mwaiona, performance, I performer, parliament committee, Pali Lungisani, Zulu. Because Mahana Pelera Jamfana, he used to refuse every Chimchanaza letam parliament, UPND. Imanga Omnyima. After Chape Nankani, Amududu, Ashta Indo Ajoin our UPND, Omnyima automatically changed. No wonder Manjamba Kumsevenze, so Jana Kamba JJ, Naishta connect, Nai behavior may not behave Kulibalazi. Nato what JJ said about our nothing 3 million, it has come true. Submission ya Imanga Omnyima, Nagoro member of parliament, submission ya Chasefu, independent member of parliament, Nankane, Nyambose, Jonathan from Chadiza, once my submission yao, and Bankara Pansa, to Mundungata Buena automatically. Tizamu forcing out ya vomere ivivintu. Mwaona so charangi za tiajama 3 million, wena ngwana tenga. I submit, madam.
Well, Kabatenge, let them get it. But that is a proceed of crime. It is a proceed of crime, and we are going to investigate. We are going to...
You see, I want to compare two articles. The one that you said, Article 73, where the president can cancel and add 12 months, or where the National Assembly should be dissolved a day before elections. So I saw an article in the newspaper where I think is it Jack Mwimbo, I don't know who said, we can abuse Article 52 and stay in power. So according to the legal knowledge that I have, Article 52, I'm sure he was referring to 52.6 for fresh nominations. Okay? So, in an event that we go to 2026 elections with this current constitution, and the UPND or any other party that is, let's say, a party that is in power decides to sponsor political parties and make them resign, it will call for fresh nominations. So, as we are saying, but they know that maybe, let's say, Makebi Zulu or Mundovile or any other person, Vamucha disqualify up, and then somebody resigns, it will mean that there will be fresh nominations, meaning that person that was not given a chance to file nominations shall be given fresh nominations. And then they can go into an election now. Okay? So now, 73, Wakambati abuse, whereby they sponsor political parties, and then fresh nominations. A president cannot enjoy the power of being a president. That is the best, it is in the best interest of the people of Zambia, which is as Article 52, clause 6. It will mean that the president will not have ministers And that president is going to be a lame duck, what we call a lame duck in the legal language. It will mean that ujamuntu sazangara na Minister of Finance or anything. So you can't enjoy the presidency. So Article 52, as it stands, it protects the Zambian citizens from political interference. What do I mean by that? It will mean that if I am the president today, I sponsor political parties and they keep on resigning. General election, it will mean that I will not have MPs. I will not have ministers. So I cannot rule. It will make me reconsider my position. So now if we amend Article 52 and say, which is clause 6, to say if somebody resigns and the election goes on, it will mean that if I sponsor political parties and they all withdraw from an election, it will mean that in an end are unopposed. You understand? It will mean that me, I have gone unopposed. If we amend it to say that it goes on, clause 6, I have seen that in Bill 7, whereby they are suggesting that they should nominate it to say if somebody resigns or withdraws from an election, that election goes, it should go on. It will mean that in any kind they are unopposed. I can sponsor 5 political parties, they all withdraw. It will mean that me as a president sitting right now, I will go unopposed. So I feel that is a danger to democracy. I don't know what you think.
Apomwalanda, I've actually the constitution here. It's Article 52. Article 52, clause 6b, where a candidate has been disqualified by a court after clause of nominations, Mamona, has been disqualified by the court after clause of nomination, the candidate shall not be eligible to contest the election, and the election shall proceed to be held on the date prescribed for holding the election. So what this means is Judge Ariamote, so Pumulos Tumbeko na imina talefo kuiminina. Fionse filifia buino, uyo chizombia imano, kwa tawe Pumulos Tumbeko cannot stand because of ABCD. Remember, in these same changes, they are putting clauses where a judge can determine. So chizombengai maya kukota tawe Pumulos Tumbeko alikuwa mlandu kwa alikuwa tenkongole alipere fumo, so disqualify her. So judge so the judge will just be like, how Pumulos Tumbeko is disqualified, and then the election will go on. So they can do this to a threat. This is what they did by ECL, you know. And in Article 52 is what they put in there to stop the, actually by Edgar Lungu, actually they disqualified him before nomination. That's why there was a court case to say that nomination was now void, because how can you disqualify someone who's not nominated? Mamona. So then they went and put it in there, Mamona. It's in there. Because they realized they made a mistake. Case Michelo Chizombe versus ECL. They did it too early. So now they had to fix their mistake and came to this Bill 7 and added it to say has been disqualified by a court after nomination, clause of nomination. Mwamona. So nish nomination na isa likakale nishbaku chitahama. You can't even go back because it's once the nomination is closed, it's closed. So this is what I think Bino was saying, to say some of these laws, they are targeting people. So if Pumolo says she's running, you just go Jajari Mokudia, Pumolo Mamta disqualify. Making sure she's disqualified after the clause of nomination is perfect. The election will go ahead. Now the other thing is why they want to do this is kulaboku rigging a maishba. Last election twari monoko bale staffing ama boxes. Mufi mutifia mango. So the ballots are printed. Mamona. This is the other danger why they say the election must go ahead. Because they already have printed. Kabili, the date is set. We are voting on August 12th. This time we are not voting on August 12, mark my words, because if it passes, which is not going to pass, but if this Bill 7 were to pass, we won't vote on August 12. But even if this if we go to vote with this current constitution, the ballots are already printed and pre-marked. So ngabaye change to change a date in shifia pena. Kabiri bali pitakale print. That's why this is my opinion, I can say it. That's why in certain areas the voter turnout is 100%. Why? Have you figured why voter turnout is 100%? Because people don't actually vote. Bakonka fe voter register ile ne bonse ka ufera bata print wa bachongera no bachongera. Ero baisa fichita stuff. It's not possible that they can be 99% voter turnout. How? Where? It's mathematically wrong, logically wrong, whatever reason is wrong. The only reason they have over 90% vote is they take that voters register. So whenever 1 million how much to register, mark my words, voter. This is what they do. Madundu mwezi formula.
Still, Madam President, ingati wali 1 million wazaka vote ku strong odiao. Kaina ku strong odiao ya opposition shima 1 million yazaka vote wa mene bacha. So, the Zambians are not stupid, Madam President. Just
no. Mark my words. You know that the problem is voter apathy. If people don't show up.
Madam President, Zambia siya muntu mmozi, ko Zambia siya tribe mmozi, Madam President. Vamene vanga chitewa cha kwao, na kuina ngula hivi vantu wanga vichite. Icheva mfuni koziwa, Madam President, kai lupia banda hapa kabatu wako ni wako. So wacha vantu maeneo vote ku strong vote kwao, na wena mfuta wa Zambia vote so che. So Africa che kudanda wala ngatina kuina ngu, kwamba kuvuta maeneo vote ku Southern Province. Waona, so awa vantu spanga ngane tinochenjeresa ever since kuchoka time ya kaunda. Voting pattern, most. This time around, a lot of people, they've wake up, Madam President. They are going to do what they did in Petauke.
Yeah, but yes, I agree with you. But we must tell people what has really been happening. Why the voter turnout is 99.9%. People don't actually go and vote. They pre-mark the ballot. Ballot voter register, you don't say print. Everybody fish time of your staff. And nobody can even tapali wingantari kapatu rebe pobufi. Video twalimona oko balelo ngama baloti mushi yafi muti kumazabuka. So ama baloti yali abakweteshani because they pre-match them. Bali send the voter register ba pen ba abantu kubayikelefe munebyali ninchito. Ba printer machine abantu bale voter abantu. No, but this time is even going to be more dangerous because now baleta chi computer chilaba kene ku Malawi. Mwamona. The thing is there is a computer now which by ECZ will use. So they can use it to manipulate to say uko abantu bachisa mkuvota ero ku abantu bachisa mkuvota mwamona. They can manipulate numbers. And this is where the PF need to wake up as a major opposition and take this.
I want to ask about yours truly. Yours truly, Zokama Palinkania video. Is this one, yours truly?
For laying out 10 steps to autocracy. Run us through those steps so we all know.
Okay, so this happened.
Yes. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
Democracy. So whether we're talking about Brazil with Bolsonaro, or India, or Putin, and
so, Madam President, I want you to listen to this video, Madam President. This is exactly what is happening in Zambia. Exactly. Listen to it carefully, everyone. While in the comment section, I just want everyone to pay attention what this woman was saying. This is what used to happen in America. So now, these people, they've taken the very same system which was happening in America in the 1600s. They are now using it now in Zambia. Listen to it, Madam President.
For laying out 10 steps to autocracy. Run us through those steps so we all know.
Okay, so this happens in every nation that has become an autocracy, having been a democracy. So whether we're talking about Brazil,
every nation,
or India, or Putin and Russia, the Philippines with Duterte. So start with winning an election. Mm-hmm. Usually the last one you're going to get to have for real. Number two, you have an expansion of executive power. The president decides he wants more than he's supposed to have. Number three, you start to make the Congress complicit. So you weaken them and you neutralize or neuter the judiciary. Like, oh, I don't know, the Supreme Court is giving you unfettered power and saying we don't have the ability to stop things. Then you move on to firing all the people who know how to make government work. So you gut the civil service. And you do that because you want to break democracy so people forget the stuff that used to get done. So you can't get your Social Security check. So the CDC doesn't know what diseases are anymore. Then you put in place these loyalists, people who are only responsive to you. You put them in charge of the FBI so they go after your enemies. You put them in charge of the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, so they can signal to their friends and tell them all about the evil plans that you have. Then you make certain that you break how we communicate. So you criticize the media and you create your own echo chamber of propaganda. You call it truth even though you know you're lying. Then you go to the next step, and I call that step 7. So at step 7, you have to blame someone. You have to blame people for the broken government, for the broken promises. So you go after DEI. You go after the vulnerable, the dispossessed. You go after any community that doesn't look like what you think power should be. While you're doing that, you make certain that you, in step 8, you eliminate anybody who could help them. So you sue law firms that do pro bono cases. You go after philanthropies and accuse them of giving money to the wrong people. You go after colleges and universities that can teach people possibly what else they should know. You get to step 9 and you start to encourage and incentivize private violence. You send the U.S. Marines into spaces they should not be. You send the National Guard in. You kidnap people off of the streets and pretend that's normal, because that's how you quiet dissent. Because you make everyone afraid that if they don't do what you want, they might be next. And once you've done those 9 steps, step 10 is easy. That's when you decide there won't be new elections, because everyone's either afraid, poor, broken, or complicit.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, that is their script, Kansh. That is the script.
So Nachalombako, can you read Article 52.6 again?
But the good news is those things were happening abantu tabayi shibe chitika. But now if we chimono kwa chindo shingairesa mushimkukulowa taulele taya kulowe ngayala kulowa shan. The good news is we are not living in the 1600s. We are in 2025. That's why it will be difficult for them to pull off this thing.
Still, 2025, it's still happening in Zambia, Madam President. Exactly what she narrated. That is what is transferred.
Yes, currently the script is there. They are following that script. But it is up to us. Because about Muma 1600, they didn't have this information like Abena Congo. You know what happened to Bena Congo? They didn't know. But if we have been warned, we have all this information, we have an opportunity to give this video to MPs who have been compromised. Maybe they can change.
Article 52 clause 6.
6, which one? A, B? Put it A, B, C. Or the entire clause 6?
6 shouldn't have A, B. It doesn't have.
It has A. You want me to read in the amendment or in the constitution?
In the current constitution. The
Okay.
current one.
Okay, the current constitution reads...
Yes.
It says where a candidate dies, resigns, or becomes disqualified in accordance with Article 70, 100, or 153, or a court disqualifies a candidate for corruption or malice after the close of nomination or before the election date, the Electoral Commission shall cancel the election and require filing of fresh nomination by eligible candidates, and elections shall be held within 30 days of filing of these fresh nominations. Umumwine mulika 1 paragraph, mena naba become 3 paragraphs. Mwamona, they never become A, B, and C. Ne?
That is the current standing of the Constitution, which I say it protects us from fraud. Currently, if I am the president today, then I salanati na chita sponsor to my political party to ndembo to the 5 or to 3 or to achita withdraw. It will mean that we need to file in fresh nominations. But muli amendment. So that one, we can abuse Article 52 by Jack Mwimbo. Katusha kanvana na balandirefyo mu newspaper na liberenga umubarena that we can abuse 52. So when they abuse it now, the president has no powers.
Vambo kuchita report if tuleberenge firi muri constitution vambo kulabe patulechita misinformation napokera ka flag apa pene kuri ba TikTok ati ndechita misinformation mure ichindika sana baba pressing pali urechita misinformation hapa
so mamonaka, so it means that
akula ndeni chivemba vambo kuchita vambo kula tuma ku TikTok atulechita misinformation ififine tabafaya abantu bayishibe chishinga vambo kuzosa kuli vala iblock apapele songa yaputuka twala I've got nalikwata backup account.
Oh, okay. So apatuli apate
weshiru ninoko wamfwa iwe weshiru ninoko nuko na wiso emashiru wamfwa walitumpa
mulekeni shoyo alifo na kwa tofu ale umfu efyo. So to learn that apa ile tuchita protect apa ili. So meaning takulu umuntu unga chita sponsor utuma political party ukola tuchiche withdraw apa tuli. So imagine kaide bali kwa temingalato abantu abate baisa omemingalato bali aba konselia ma opposition for example aba konselia ma opposition nga babome mingalato bashara notuma nakshara neka political party.
Madam President munga bloke muntu wakaere kairi mwamona who is in support of you is saying that those people that bamene bakunenelani ku TikTok.
Okay, sorry munjerereko. Forgive me.
You can block your own son.
Munjerereko.
Okay,
yeah.
Article 52 abaili ile tuchingirira kutuli kuchita sponsor tuma political parties apa opoidi hapa batanga twaifumia hapo opoidi hapa twaitwaro mubale ifaya ive yakwe bati umuntu apitirire atuma elections tupitirire tukakwata po unopposed namwishi umuntu otabale chita oppose
lembeni muma comment mulembe fe muma comment. Everybody just write that we are discussing our views and not misinformation. Just write there in the comments to say there is no misinformation here. We are just discussing kind of AI yabam. So everybody write a comment here. Mulembe muchisu. Mukwai. Yeah, I've unblocked him, but I won't say lembeni more comment that we are having a wonderful discussion. There's no misinformation. So everybody write a comment here and say wonderful discussion. You know, we are being educated. Write a comment in the comment section because we are to block. Even last time before the eligibility, so that day quali hearing here eligibility, my account was blocked offline. Bali imabonse batita report so batita report block. So the whole week bali blockele 2 days before the hearing the page was blocked for a week. So apana pene for bale for na be mamu kutuma. mule we cannot to my hearts to ya mule poster no to my hearts mule poster to my emoji to my like. Yes. Yes. So yes.
People to know the truth, and there is no misinformation on this platform. What we are discussing is educating people on their rights so that they understand what they are entitled to.
Too many nama hearts mule too many nama flowers mama nangamo so too many pakuti nangu bafa yo kuiblock abala monati abantu nabatemwe filerandi kwapo mulele but good information. Thank you to my heart, thumbs up, roses bala ibro kana tumfati bachikwata meeting watama page ponse balelanda fiama bill 7 yonse bala fwa yenshira ya kuyesala. So now uko na batuma to it happens.
Share. So let's protect this. A platform we share the year kwebati. Ile shida educate abantu po tulesa mukupembe napa. Tetwa tuchinge. Kya tuba wike mumbo wakuba filokuba. She's educating abantu hapa. Just because of that, but this what we said in the platform opa abantu bese mukupembe. Tetsi wombe. Mwebantu bali hapa ma points mwebali umuma comments to papa tatu also balanda ba madam president.
Yamuka bakateka maumfa okwaye avoid. So yo 52 yo vei katako bairi kifie na fila foot na chiranda pa first pali 72 yakwe bati umwaka ikulika uyuwa babene abakwatemiro papali pate yabo.
Thank you for the roses, thank you for the flowers, thank you. Yeah. So tulese cannot to get too serious. Bala mona pantu gamulese kama isa koma sekshako, you know, pantu nanguchi aishamuna abantu abata bale moneka ngabale tanan kan. Masuma ko tuma smiley, you know, let's be interactive, you know. Akulande mwalanda ko mananda, make your comments, be responding. Abantu gabalelanda, you respond in the comments. You know, you don't need to wait to kwebati. Mwisi apa mwalanda kula alanda bale isala ati bachikwata meeting bale foku isala ma page yonse ayalelanda pali bill 7 bala yesala pakuti ilero ikala pita kule kukaba blackout kukaba information blackout
awo bachiwawo ba ghost mulofu echibemba
sana fe
emkwai. So efo twacharanda umwaka ikulika uyuwa kwatemiro pa anga ichipani akaikulika ayavotera olo baisa bamutamvya muchipani olo muchipani momwene bamuperera nanane kana muri 72 efo fonde fwa kulanisha sana pali 52 na 6.
Thank you for the roses. Mwandini abantu abala fira mwachiranda chachini achibale fire ma page yose kuyesa. Thank you, Tandy. Thank you for the roses. Yeah. Iwo ule society misinformation kebeba mbuya bobe n'abana bashukuru bobe mutwali obupuboko chalo chaba wishenu mu 2025 muwese shena ichalo munne mu 1600 ichale chika mu 1600 fise mkuchitika lero mu 2025 mu Zambia really kwangalo if you are chika mu 1600 fise mkuchitika pali inonshita continue guys, power tapping and No kulalemba muma comments. Be active in the comments. We'll be okay.
Danger.
Awe bachi flashing inafeka message ukwe bati na banchita report ati ndechita missing form abantu. So kabidi nomba party and ife tulelanda but we need interaction from mwebali mu audience. Mula kula ma comments power tapping chain to pitch the power tap to 20,000, you know.
Namusha one day munka ukusambika botu kese isopolora bwino bwino ine 7 kaidi ifwe twalisambira ko tutine balando tumafunde twechalo tu no tumafunde
But Angel Tamulandireko, go ahead. You haven't said anything. You've been quiet.
Madam President. Na chimala fena chisa isapelani nishina mfura numba shishiwe fya kumwesho mutima panshi na chao chimbale kefe bapange ototo bapuishe na ototo ibadi na ywe bantu ngana beka tapaka noa na chawa be
the water needed to be delivered.
The water needed to be delivered. Hello by the one in Dabako. Yeah, MPs. Tuendela pesa. Ama MPs tuendela pesa.
Chavinga alikuisa na sapato shakwe.
Tuendela pesa na babantu. I don't want you people. If we are still fighting, to Bill 7 must fall. You know, when I watched that video of that man, it's so disappointing that a chairperson can behave the way he behaved. That was embarrassing at the highest order. Because they took the behavior as a chairperson. When you are sitting in that chair, you should accommodate views from different angles. Those who are agreeing with you and those who are disagreeing with you. But all he needed was to hear those people who are agreeing with them on Bill 7. No, that's not what we are supposed to be doing.
That's not democracy. Democracy is democracy.
Everything we have to say yes, boss, yes. Yes, boss, yes, boss. Not if we've said no, we don't want to stand up to say yes to HH. No, we'll tell him. And this is the reason why we always tell you, Mr. President, these people don't love you. Yes, but if we, no matter what, even if you insult us, you tell us this and this, even for time, because we tell you the truth, we don't hide anything from you. All these who can't stand up to you, it's a sign of weakness. They are not strong to stand up and tell you, boss, this is not right. But we've been standing up and tell you, Mr. President, this is not right. Look at all of them, all MPs. They don't talk. That's why everything. Bishop, what is this? Positions of how the Catholic is designed.
Oh, yes. As we are elders, why we kapona kafulo na vena. They gave themselves a kafulo.
Imagine.
Akashaba Catholic elders. Who gave you a kafulo?
Imagine. Mr. Corrector, Catholic, the hierarchy is like this. It's not the way you are designing it. Trying to defend one person. Allo, you know to defend you, Melissa. You know to defend you. Dem yeva akamibika pavi. Elo mkalandati ngatu aliyo frida kuti badi abakashana baliranda padi. They will start looking for these videos. They will start looking for these audios to say, what did those people say? Apparently, they are pretending not to have heard what we are telling them, or they've heard but they've decided no, they've got he changes like a chameleon. I'm sure that's why he hated that his issue of a chameleon at witchcraft and a chameleon. That's why even those people have been jailed, because the whole president, sure, honestly speaking, you can't listen to the people, what they're saying, and sit down. I've always asked HH to say, when you are alone, do a self-introspection and tell yourself, if you're on the edge, feel right. And if I didn't do this, will the people be with me? Say I didn't pay my 3 million. Will those MPs stand with you? No. You have your own people. I don't know, they've been with you for 25 years. But now you've discarded them. But even if they come to you and say, sir, to pay them 3 million, 3 million, over 97 MPs that you have to your side, are you going to give them 3 million? But you've sacrificed them. You don't care about them because the boss will say, you have to do it, and they have to do it. You have to do it. If you think the Mwamba 3 million, all those Chavinga, fire them, because you don't know next time another person will use them and they'll give them more money.
Yes, they are corrupt. Yes, yes.
Fire them. Let's have people who are loyal to us. And if you MPs, they'll use you like that. And when we tell you like this, it's not that we're insulting you. We just want to tell you to say, if Parakasa from 3 million, 3 million is nothing. Nothing to what you want to put this country in. So stop it now. This is the time that you have to stop it. I was happy Gary Nkombo today showed some leadership. I was happy when he said, no, let's not apply emotions in this matter. When the last president was presenting, at least I said, thank God, there is somebody who can use, I think, Gary, please be above the stupidity that is going on and protect it. You know what? You would rather have your name shine with people than your name not shine with one person. Which one is better? To go with one person or to go with the majority? There's certain people who are looking right now. Look at even today, Madam President, Party EMV Mwamba, when people were voting, everyone said MZ. Look at the points, look at the reasons they were giving. He's a loyal person, very calm, integrity, character, everything. People are describing that. Others will come and tell you, oh no, Namuchita stage I'm a cause. No. I had calls from Livingston. I had calls from Western Province. I had calls from Solwezi. I had calls from Kaputa. Even if Mwamba can stage, can he manage to stage all those calls? You can't.
Same people are calling. So today I didn't even call. But if
you hear the way people were just in Makebi Zulu, I said, this is what I talked about yesterday when I called. Today, even me, I was like, no, let me not go, but listen in and see what people are saying and feeling. Everyone was saying Makebi Zulu. I was like, oh my goodness, this is the grace of God that we're talking about with Makebi Zulu. So, just concentrate on your person and that's it. Makebi Zulu, if we are going with Makebi Zulu, whatever you say, we are going with Makebi Zulu. If Makebi Zulu ni new and is a president come 2026, it is not an easy road, but the grace of God is sufficient for us to go through this. As long as we are dealing with the grace of God, with the grace of God, no one can say no, because God has said yes on Makebi Zulu. Like it or not, that has been done.
Makebi, Team MZ. We are not misinforming anyone, dear TikTok. We are not. We are just patriotic people talking about democracy. Myself, I'm a certified human rights.
Madam, let me give chance to others.
Yes, thank you, Mama. Powerful. I'm a certified human rights advocate, so I cannot misinform anyone. I've been here on social media advocating for democracy, advocating for human rights of people. So that person who's saying I'm misinforming, they don't know me. They are here to try and create, have this page taken down. And the thing is, in Zambia now, all the opposition, they are under attack. All the opposition pages, most of them, they have been taken down for the same thing that happened here, where people gang up, they report a page for misinformation, and the page is taken down. This is a mode of operation of bad-praising, which is a shame, really. It is a shame for you to claim you are popular when you are not. You know, you are not popular by UPND. The only reason is Mwadi Salama page yabantu bonsi abalelanda. People have been intimidated into silence. Page yadiruba. So you are the only one talking. You want to be the only one talking. A problem yaba UPND. They don't want umuntu mbyukula. That's why abantu abengi bali bakaka bali mufifungo. Abantu abengi bali butuka mu Zambia. And I wrote an article 2 days ago where I said I am appealing to members of parliament, all 156. Bill 7 ingayapita, people like Emmanuel Mwamba, they will never be able to go back home. Mulenda tipaka 2090. So what will happen to people like Emmanuel Mwamba? What will happen to people like JJ Banda? Abena Munia Zulu, ikalaba case after case. What will happen to Nakachinda Ushakwata no Mulandu bali mukakafe just because they can? What will happen to Bachitotera bali bakakafe just because they can? Bachitotera bali bakakafe just because they can. So Bill 7 in the Apit, have you thought what will happen to those people and many people like me? I don't know. I'm not a criminal. I have a clean record. But the day I walk in Zambia, kutiba isa mpangira no mulandu ati yo, fiafine balela ndati yo, nare kissing omwana kashi, bapangalo. They can make laws to target individuals. Danger yakubati ababantu nga baisa. Bakala tefe pumulos tumbeko bamulolesha mulandu ushtwala mpera. Bampelo mulandu. They come up apene. They look through all my videos. Fidaba chitakuni nakachinda and give nakachinda. Where is nakachinda now? So, Chika Chilamo, this thing will become worse when these people pass Bill 7E. Na my election turabeko. And my election yakesa after 1 year because they will come and say, but if I quenchite yakobati, but say draw my boundaries, by printing in a new voters registers, and people need to vote to go and register again. But so today we have question and try to misinform abantu. So how the hell are you going to have an election? Ingatamuchitema new polling stations for the 55 seats you're having. Mukakwata share my election. Mukakwata number from parliament. How are you going to pull that off without postponing the elections and actually having a new voter registration? How are you going to do it? But me, I'm just here to tell you what, be honest, be transparent and tell people. Because what is there is your people, you now wish you wanna date. You have everything, you know the constituencies, date which you push the election, which would be a year. So my election, 2020, maybe 2027. If this Bill 7 in Gapita, to the show quarter my election, 2027. Because they need at least a year to do this work here, 55 constituencies. But po. So number. If you thought about the because they are not thinking far. Some of us, we are critical thinkers, you know. On face value. But in life, you need to think. It's not everybody who can think like me or you. Some people, they just thinking, I'm going to sentence or Congress. But you okay, so could you watching Bill 7? But election and you all need to think like that in every situation. Think ahead, think beyond your nose. In life, always. Quite.
You know, leaders over that principles, we wouldn't have even been talking about this issue. Number one, the court it is unconstitutional. You know, constitution it has principles, or it has got ways of making that constitution. We have what we call the constitution making process, whereby you and I, the people of Zambia, we start crying to say we need a constitution that will represent our aspiration. Number one. Then the president can form a commission of inquiries. Number two. Then the commission of inquiries appoint the constitution review committee. So now, bill 7 to land up way. Justice Minister Taveshi Bepoifilifions. Court yamie but each paper mkwetechi. It's not actually right. Chintu chivipirechi. Then Mwasa kwata fake commission review of footy. Mwaya later Filafi never maybe that tafiri constitution. Oh, you know, as acceptance speech abam darava. Ngamali umfuide. Umuntu wikerefe paena ngutava votere nabavotera kwisa umfokwa dawo natuvotera abantu. At you, from now we are going to raise the bar of the president. So for Balandiravene, that we are going to raise, not every Jim and Jack shall come and contest as president, because but we thought Bara conquer the rule of law. But now to our disappointment, to our sangati, every one who quicker back at 2090. Where is her?
Vanefa akushtishe chalo tuleroresha. Vashtishe chalo tuleroresha. Tuleba totera. Pansta bakabeko ku 2090. So kala tungule chalo ni nani? Kuntu valeshtisha. Vanefa vashtishe chalo tuletota. Because tabakabeko ku 2090. So kala tungulula ni nani?
Tuishi. Mweleza ofutukuchati. Uyumwa mufumishe kwi. The other questions we push abantu. You know, because ichi tuali kwete fe abantu abakwati baleteka fe bali kwata integrity. You know chitatulera ndapa. Ichi chipepa ngabali chilepula.
That's why number chileva kalipa, because number 2 we need to talk about ifiri mukati muri ya mwamona, because balela ndafya nishi mulekana ilifye bwino. Aba balela ndaknishi mulekana ilifye bwino. They are not looking tabale bomfya binoculars ya kwa nakachinda. If you use the microscope to actually see what is in this bill 10, bill 7, kochi wabutuka. In article 52, the simple article 52, it was just one in the original, in the current constitution. Article 52, ni one paragraph of it. But when muri bill 7, muri article 52, muri amwine baya lusha mo 3 paragraphs, A, B, and C. Like kui marker, they are marking election ukwebati. Ufile pa ballot munto barefwaya. This is the actual meaning of that article 52. That's why now it has creates from one paragraph to 3 paragraphs A, B, or C. Now by marker. Idewa kwebati muntu ke minina pa as MP or councillor or as president munto basuminishe. If we fail to get that, if we fail to knock out that person on A, we shall knock him out on B or C. Article 52.6 is a real guard to knock out people what about the fire. Ni doom. They will make sure that you will ballot by the unto over the fire. And Jack Mwimbu was right by saying that. Because Muri Article 52.6, one paragraph bali panga into 3 paragraphs. Koti ngatawafwe, ngawafwa, election goes on. I think ngawafwa then in 30 days. But for some reason, a judge Wamurisha Mata disqualified, election goes on. And the other reason, so they are hell bent on making sure that they control even the people who are on the ballot. Opo ni come atishani fila balanda basungu. Come hell or high water, they want to make sure that whoever is on that ballot, they are controlling them. Tapa iyanga after Bill 7 kula wana kwa that's why nenda after Bill 7 nama politics na laleka because ichichi Bill 7 chile chita fix fiancé na ngulande ukaiba chiyoke mini tabaka bafunye mu because article 52 ili yaine na ba ichita screw kwa bachi ingatabale kufa pa ballot tawabepo kuma judge kuya 6B opo balandi lati judge kuti apingula tu taulipo elo limbi yafa they can knock you out wafwemfo yota wishibe you know so ngata ufiremfo yota wishibe judge kukupingula tu ineligible and the other reason is Babikirensh, they have actually narrowed it down to death. Ingata ufiremfo hivi yota wishibe kwa bana na resignation. So ngabakulisha mwata resign. So kuti bakupera fe envelope watawe inenalika. Eya tulelande kwati apa. That's why Makebi muntu because Makebi kulia South Africa ali minine against the Bathfield war. Mwamona. That's why we muntu ore support muntu fie uli onse. Hii ne article 52 hii epo fika pwira fionse. This article 52 wa Jack Mwimbu abene balelanda. Article 52.6 wachita resign ukata resign shani bakupera chi envelope. Ngefiwa ya 3 million wabaperete. Part corruption number is normal. Where a candidate resign. Chishu wala chile resign. Wale fokuba president. Wale fokuba MP. Lelo wacha I'm resigning. Why? Nama kudishamu. 2. Disqualified. So ngabakana kukuri. Elo na wafitantika. Mwamona. Na wafitantika muoda. So number 1. First by sho kukurishamu. Ngabakana kukurishamu. Okay. Akano kumurishamu. Akano kuta resign. Waya ku number 2. So ngatu akano kumurishamu. Chien kuma koti bama judge wayatuwa lishamo. So balaba judge ngabakano kuchita disqualify ba judge nimfwa. The last clause dies before the non can. Mwamona bali fitantika. Bakubaye sho kukubosha ngataba kubose she bakutwala kuma koti. Elo kuma koti kuli ama koti ngabafilo kudilinga na iwe nimfwa. So it means but whichever way, come hell or high water, you are going to be cleared. Wala kuclear pa ballot ngatabule fire chukabepo tawakabepo article 52 na fyafine ba Jack Mwimbu fo barandire na fikonkam ine na pela no kupela. I think I'm done talking for the night. I'm done.
Nala imbi ifyachitike ayama submissions vadeteraya fake na likomulimo yachitikira tichongwe yali veto chongwe kafyuwe na chilanga ayava mwana kwati ma strongholds yabo def ero nomba abantu bambo kucha submit use yo chongwe tuiputule mutatu ukuku kucha ikwate ya tatu na bakafyuwe nabo bale punda ya tatu na bachilanga kutuwaisho nokwisho abana makadazi babo abalicha submit mamonaka. So nomba ifo tulala tiyo delimitation yo balelande tamwishibe no kwishibati mwisa bala putula but amakadazi bawo from where you can see that we